Okay, one more video. This is Nikki. This is personal experience, not to be used as medical advice. I'm exploring ideas here. I'm clearly excited. And I think I'm figuring out a lot about this pump. And I also think I'm figuring out, generally speaking, how people might be having different results with this pump. I think that some people, regardless of why their blood sugar is more stable, are going to have outstanding results with this pump because the pump does really well with stable blood sugars. I think as soon as you begin to fluctuate, as soon as I begin to fluctuate, I think there's a delay. I think then it shakes my SG. My SG starts to become delayed, and then I have a pump that's acting on an outdated number and is continuing to either administer insulin or hold it off or whatever. These are ideas, these are theories, but I think it makes sense why some people are like, oh my God, I love the 670, it's fantastic. And some people are like, I want to throw it out the window. And in my case, murder it until it dies from it. But anyway, so I would like to kind of show you, whoever you may be, and if you're even looking, why I can see this. And then I'll show you that the couple of days that I stayed ahead and I checked my calibration factor at every stop, my SG was amazingly accurate. It was dead on, but it's because my blood sugar was really stable. And as soon as my blood sugar really began to move, the SG was delayed, and then that's where I would see a problem. Okay, so this morning, I'm not even talking about a problem. I'm just going to show you what I was looking at this morning. So my SG, because there was movement overnight, my calibration factor rose in the middle of the night, possibly from some Moji effect, possibly from Dawn phenomenon, whatever. It was a rocky night, but one of those two things caused my calibration factor to rise. Once my calibration factor, and it was a 6.4 in the middle of the night, so that meant it was rising fast. So I lost my SG. My SG was delayed. So by the time I woke up an hour later or 2 hours later, whatever, I had an SG of a 132. My BG, my stick, was a 182, possibly a 190. Even with my rely on, there's still some variation in numbers, variance in numbers. Okay, my I6 was 28.96. So when I woke up this morning, my calibration factor was a 6.28. I knew that it had been a 6.4, I think, earlier. So I knew that was actually slowing down, but that I was still on the rise. But here you can see the SG and the BG, the difference between them with a calibration factor. So with that calibration factor, my pump is giving me micro boluses, but they can't keep up. They're small micro boluses, and my blood sugar at a 6.28 is moving at a moderate speed, let's say. So I think that sometimes when my blood sugar is moving at a really fast speed and it's kind of giving me those little tiny micro boluses, it's just not enough to bring that sugar down. And that's why somebody who doesn't have those kind of rises, maybe they haven't had coffee or, whatever it is to set off that rise, they just do great with it because it can administer a little bolus here or there and keep you down. But with those big rises, it's giving you the same little boluses and it's not enough to keep you down, so you continue to float and float and float in auto. I had to wait for my coffee. Oh my God, I was so tired this morning, and I had to wait for the first sip. And and now I know why I was waiting, because my calibration factor was rising. So I knew that, it was still, my blood sugar was still moving. So I said, I'm gonna do get out of auto, do my bolus, sit and wait, and give it 10 minutes head start before I drink it. My next SG, 13 minutes later, was a 144. My next BG was a 198. So still continuing to rise. I hadn't had a sip of coffee yet. Okay, so this is just a rise from there to there. My calibration factor was a 6.5. Still waiting 5 more minutes. I was hurting this morning. I was so tired. Bad night of sleep. But continuing to wait. But for that almost 20 minutes before I did this next one, I had insulin on board kicking in. So it doesn't surprise me that the next one, my SG is still a 148. My SG is still rising. Now my BG is beginning to drop. This is where you see the delay. My SG is still rising. My BG is beginning to drop. And my calibration factor is falling, which means that I'm stabilizing. So now I'm sipping so slowly. SG still rising, 6:55 a.m. SG still rising, BG continuing to drop. Now again, this could just be a difference in the BG meter finger stick at their 20%, and I have to be aware of that because that can really mess me up. But that's the number I look at. Now I'm at a calibration factor of 5.98, which I started at 6.2 and then 6.5, and I know, so that probably means I'm really stabilizing. I've had all that insulin, pumping through me, and I'm just doing little bits of coffee. And here's my notes about what I'm doing. Gonna go drink my coffee now and check back in 10 minutes. So at 7:08, now my SG is starting to fall. My BG is pretty stable because now I've got coffee going through. Now my calibration factor is starting to rise again, meaning I'm probably, those 5.98, 6.0, that could just be anything. So maybe stable, maybe picking up a little bit. I had coffee, who knows? I've had coffee, obviously, but who knows? I would take you all the way through this, but I'm 6 minutes into it, and I really need to go work some of this off. So, and I'm either having a hot flash or over caffeinated and really excited. So thanks for watching, and I will be back